So lazima ukuwe na sauti ya Mungu, or what is the Holy Spirit saying. Don't go there because you have a title. No, go there with something that you have carried it, yenye ambayo inakupush, na kitu inakupush ni Holy Spirit.
Illiteracy plus religion is death. Politicians grasp that aspect of when somebody is illiterate and you initiate religion in him, that person is dead.
A power is temporal, something coming for a short time and it is passing. The only common background where justice will be enhanced years and years, that will not fade off, is church, because church stands for the right. A very good morning to you. Praise the Lord and welcome back, guys. Last Saturday sijakuwa area, karibuni sana on this platform. But before we continue, allow me to pass my condolences to the mothers, fathers who lost their kids, beloved one, or in one way or the other. This protest that was across the country caught you. Kama imekukwarusa kidogo, tunasema poleni sana, and may God comfort you. May God remember you even as you go on to bury your loved one. And today, guess what? We are here just to try to reason and to reflect what has happened in the last 2 weeks. The country has been on a brink. Protests all over, Gen Zs wakidai justice, and we have seen them flocking with a very large number to the street to say no financial bill. Singine, there was also hashtag Ruto must go, so forth, and very many things moving around the online and around the country. So today I am here to ask you guys. Yesterday the president had a Twitter space conversation with the so-called Gen Zs. So today I'm asking, did the space that the president engaged yesterday, was it successful? And today with me, allow me to introduce the guest and the panelist who will help me to navigate through this matter. And to my right hand, my guest today, Moses, karibu sana.
Thank you.
Salimia watu.
Thank you very much. Okay. Very good morning to you, our viewers. My name is Moses Bwire Achoka. I'm the guest of today. We want to share what we have according to the topics of today. The views that we will share today is our thoughts concerning the situation in our country. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you, karibu Moses. To my left hand, allow me to introduce my panelist. How are you, Mr. Macharia?
I'm fine. Thank you for having me.
You guys, karibuni sana. Last weekend we were not live because even me, I went to Nairobi for 1, 2, 3. Msijali, tutajua uko mbele. So with no more wasting time, you've heard my topic about the space that the president engaged with Gen Zs yesterday. If I may begin with you, Moses, did you attend the space?
Okay, thank you. For me, I didn't manage to get into the space because it was flooded, so to say. I tried, but unfortunately, I didn't get into it. But I've heard some of the things that were discussed in it, and I've seen, partly I can say it was kind of successful, but not as how I wished it to be.
Yes, the same question. Let me pose to Macharia. Did the X-Space that the president engaged the Gen Zs, was it successful according to you?
According to me, no, because I personally nilijaribu kuingia na ikakataa. Ilikuwa nasema sijui no fetch kitu kama hiyo. So haikuwa kwangu, mimi sikuingia ndani. Yes.
Moses, allow me to ask you something. After the space of the president wasn't picking, But sometime we realize the Osama Otero confide the president, and some people went and joined them together and they had a conversation. So my question is this: why didn't President pass a communication that okay, this account is not able to process and let us shift to Otero? Why should he not tell the public that now, because it was meant for Ruto, I hope it was the president Ruto something, but it was shifted with no information, yani ilipelekwa tu hivyo, watu wakuambiwa twende huko maana kule kulishindikana. Hiyo inaashiria nini? What that portrays?
You know, I can't say much into that because I don't know what could have conspired for that abrupt change. But the real thing, the good thing is that the communication that was supposed to be done, or the conversation that was supposed to be made, was made, whether it was on somebody else's platform or on president's platform. But the good thing that the people who joined it managed to speak to the president himself, and their views were managed to be heard. And on the other side, we can also say that now that the guy Osama, that guy who was abducted, why is it that he's the one whose Twitter account was used? It has to raise questions to Kenyans also and Gen Zs at large. We have to think, because if this guy was abducted for holding protests or for being an activist, and all of a sudden his space is the one being used, and it was run by people direct in the State House, somebody like Hussein Mohammed, who we know is a reporter of the State House. We need to raise questions in our minds as Gen Zs. As we continue, we need to raise questions. This guy was abducted, and all of a sudden his space is being used. So we can't just say that it was something of goodwill. We have to raise questions.
Thank you. Let me just reiterate something. Gen Zs, they are saying they are leaderless, tribeless. So in this meeting, there was no anyone who is special, which was put aside to ask questions on behalf of others. That means even you had your questions. Even you had your questions. So we had no specific individual chosen to represent you people. That's why it came on a space. Because if you had representative, it means you could have gone to State House to talk physically. So my question is this: is that satisfy people that it is okay at the end of the day imeshikwa na people express their views? It seems like some people are saying you have been divided, and you are now being ruled and disintegrated. Macharia, can you explain that?
Mi venye naweza sema kitu ya kwanza, si kila mtu alikuwa satisfied. Juu tukiangalia, kama mimi mwenyewe nilikuwa na maswali zangu, nilikuwa nataka kumaddress. Bedhe on saa 8 on the dot nilikuwa hapo nikijaribu kuingia but haingii. So ni kama kuna venye ilikuwa imepangwa tu, na kuna watu walichaguliwa behind the scene wenye wataulizwa maswali na ifa hivyo. Kwa sababu pia mimi nilikuwa I had my own burning things that I wanted to address the president. But venye sasa sisi kila mtu alikuwa nafikiria atapata hiyo nafasi ya kuambia president kitu. But all of a sudden kuna venye hii kitu ilikuwa imepangwa behind the scene yenye watu wengi hawatujui. Yes.
Okay, the fact is at the end of the day, in a very influential man, Osama Otero, mazungumzo ilishuka pale, and we have had some of the Gen Zs airing complaint, speaking directly to the president, and even the president answering most of them, those who got a chance to ask the question. So I want someone to address this question directly. what was the original expectation? The very original one. How did there was a picture being waited like itakaa hivi? Moses, before we continue to the next question, what was that picture yenye watu wanaona like imeenda vibaya, ingeva kwa hivi?
For me, I expected a very transparent conversation. I wanted the president to join his space and use it as a platform for us Kenyans to join in it and express our grievances, because the grievances was supposed to directly be expressed to him, not through another channel, another person's channel, but through his channel, because he has the resources. We can say that in Kenya, in State House, His Excellency's space can fail, and another person's space, who is just a mere Gen Z like me, his space is used. We can say that can also be said to be a calculated move. It can be said to be a calculated move. I expected a lot from the president and his government, having failed in many things and failing even in the space. That raises questions.
Thank you very much. Now, there is Macharia things emerging. People are saying the same question the journalists asked him on the day of debate. I hope all of you sisi wote tuliona. They are saying ni kama alikuwa anajirudia tu. Anajirudia. And allow me, I want someone to answer this question specifically. There's a man asked him, you are saying the young boy of 12 years, it was not the police who killed him. Someone snatched a gun and shot him dead. And now ask him like this. That in the day of debate, you said you even do not know that boy, whether he's alive or dead. How come, therefore, today you have information of who killed him? Can you explain how that sentence contradicting it itself?
Okay. Venye bedhe hapo kila mtu had questions that are running in their heads. Kwa sababu kwa hii kitu ingine alienda live akasema hajui. Then anasema ni mtu aligrab gun akaanza kumshoot. How? Kitu ya kwanza venye alikuwa anasema alikuwa anajirudia na hakuwa na stand. Unaona, hakuwa na stand or evidence yenye atatoa aseme hivi ndio kuko. Juu hakuna venye no stranger can snatch a gun of an officer na aanze kushoot mtoto. So hapo there are very many questions as young people tunajiuliza. Na hakuna venye unaweza sema you don't know. So hii ni kitu tu iko na hidden things, hidden agendas yenye bado haijakuja kwa light. Yes.
Moses, I want also to throw to you a question similar to what Macharia I have asked him. The other day the president said on an interview that there is footage of CCTV on those who break shops, took things and destroyed the parliament, burned the city hall, but equally did not say there's footage of police killing the tens of people who are dead, shot, like a kind of Rex, huyu kijana wa 12 years. Kama footage, kwani CCTV inachagua watu wa kushika? Inashika watu wakichoma vitu wakiarubi biashara, lakini haishiki wa maaskari. What is the meaning? Mimi hadi sielewi sentensi.
Okay. What I can say is it seems our president is more concerned about properties than our lives. He's more concerned about protecting people's properties, and more so properties that belong to the citizens of Kenya, which is the parliament. A parliament is a building that was built by Kenyans taxpayers' money. So by telling us that the people were seen breaking into shops, and those people have to be taken accounted for doing what they did, and not telling us what about those people that were killed? What about them? Raise a lot of questions. It seems that this government of the day is more concerned about properties than life itself. On the matter of that child,
Yes, sir. So how can you be more concerned of property? This is a CCTV footage. Can you, sasa even if you are concerned with it, haitakushika wewe ukiua?
lazima ikushike, but the problem is the government has to, lazima ivute saidi ya kwake. Umenipata? Government hakuna siku itakuja iseme iko wrong. It's you the citizen who is wrong. So that's how inavuta saidi ya kwake. Inaona wale watu wana break into shops, but it doesn't see wenye wanapiga marisasi. On the issue of that child who is 12 years old being shot 8 times, it raises concerns. How can a protester turn against another protester, so to say? Let me say that child was not protesting, but a protester protests. Protesters protest with the same aim, with the same agendas they are protesting against. So how can you, as a protester, I'm protesting with you, how can I snatch a gun and kill another person's child who is protesting like me? Is it even possible? It is not possible. So lying to us that that guy took a gun from a policeman and shot that child 8 times. That one, I can't say it's true, I can't confirm, because his sources are more efficient than mine. But inside my head, I have to think, because I have senses. I have to think. My conscience doesn't allow me to think that that child was shot by a protester.
Guys, I appreciate your time always. Please, if you're watching, go down below, subscribe, share this content, and get informed. Allow me to go to Macharia. You are a young minister, and it seems there's concern. Gen Zs have raised voices and serious concern about the church. Now I want to ask pastors, tuko na wazee tu ama pia tuko na pastors vijana? Umeona? Because now the other day after the president said that he has I don't know what, created a committee, whether ni made ama ni creation, I don't know, a committee. The first people who were called ni mapasi. Now if I check those pastors, no one of them was in the bracket of Gen Zs. So I hope Gen Zs does Gen Zs has pastors? Na kama uko na mapasi wao, kwa nini si wale pastors wa rika yenu ndio mngeenda kunegotiate? Juu nyinyi ndio mnajua. I never saw any pastor who is of past Gen Zs in the street. And I wonder, is it the issue of Ruto and pastors or the issue of Gen Zs? So can you explain for us something at that corner? Because it is actually bringing a confusion.
Okay, thank you so much. According to me, the bishops that went to the State House walikuwa wazee sana. So na sisi Gen Z ndio tulikuja na hii maandamano nini. Sasa we lacked a representative, a young pastor, na ambao wako na ni wengi sana, ambao wako at least mwenye anaelewa vijana venye atatu represent kwa president. So mimi this anasisemi kwa ubaya ama nini. This is two things I know. There's a difference between a title, no, because those who went there, they are bishops nini. Si ati nawaingilia, but at least kungekuwa na a young pastor mwenye anatu represent pale, unaona. Then ukiangalia na hii side nyingine, venye waliongea ni ati, unajua, before going to someone, kwa sababu they went there as spiritual leaders, si ndio? So if they went there as spiritual leaders, one thing, because I'm a spiritual man, one thing I know, ukienda huko lazima uko na lengo, na hii lengo umetoa wapi? kukuitwa a spiritual leader, so you know the things of the spirit so much. So ukienda huko lazima ukuwe na sauti ya Mungu, or what is the Holy Spirit saying. Unaona, don't go there because you have a title. No, go there with something that you have carried it, yenye ambayo inakupush, na hii kitu inakupush ni Holy Spirit yenye uko na message ya majenzi. So mi hapa venye naweza sema kulikosa a young pastor that anatu understand kutu represent kwa State House. Thank you.
I'm still on you. Let me ask you, what are you meaning? Did the bishops even knew what the NCs want? Because to solve an equation that even you don't understand is very difficult. And my question is, now what was the impact of now after Bishop going there? Did it cause an impact?
No, haiku cause impact yoyote kwa sababu hawatuelewi, because ukiangalia Gen Z is another generation different from them, so hakuna kitu ili change by the way. Sasa waliwaita, I think waliwaita because wengi they have big churches ni nini, they can influence some of those churches waache maandamano, so it never brought any impact to all Kenyans who are Gen Zs. Yes.
Moses, yes. You have been watching the whole drama moving around. There was Gen Zs who were having two agendas: occupy State House and occupy churches. They were even claiming even these churches are dirty because they allow the altars, which were meant specifically to wash every sin, whether the sin of corruption, any kind of sin, because the altar should be very pure. So they had rather to say two battles: to cleanse church and to cleanse the government. How come now these people, ni kama they look before the eyes of a Gen Z, all of them are dirty? Lakini unapata wanaungana to bring a solution to you people whom you think like these people, all of them are dirty. What is that?
Okay, thank you. On the part of religious leaders and religion at all, I'm also a religious man. I'm a Christian. And as I've been growing up, I've seen nowadays it's like pastor and prophetism on whatever that is in Christianity is never a calling today. It's a profession. And what is a profession? A profession is something that earns you money. So these people are never called by God. They go there as a profession to earn something. So when you see them calling themselves prophets, evangelists, bishops, holding so many, what are they called? Conferences. Gathering so many people. And let's say brainwashing them. That's not a calling. That is just a profession like any other profession, like a teacher, a doctor, something that you go and study for so many years just to do it and earn money at the end of the day. So me, I can't say they are called pastors, and if they are there, they are very few. Secondly, on matters of pastors going to the State House, you know, the first thing William Ruto did back in 2022 after getting power and becoming the president of Kenya, he commissioned pastors, the so-called pastor commission that was in State House. So many pastors were called there just to hold prayers for the country or to purify State House and so on. And those people are being paid. In fact, if I'm not wrong, they are being paid. Bahashas, those people walk out of State House with a lot of money. So if for you, for instance, you are a religious man, you have a church somewhere in Nairobi or somewhere in Kiambu, you receive a call from the president himself asking you to join him for a prayer breakfast or any other thing to hold a meeting concerning the country. What will you do? And you know you are never called. You are there as a profession. It is an achievement to you because you know when you go there, you are going to walk out of that place with a lot of money. So those people who went there, yes.
We have in the Bible we have the Elijah. And Elijah was a prophet. He deal with kings. Na angeenda kuambia soko anaitwa nani? Kwa Jezebel uko kwa Ahab. This is what God says. Mungu anasema hivi. Yani you convey a message of God na unamaliza unatoka unaenda. You don't accept anything. You are just a messenger. Unaleta unasema why can't you not come and say government do the right thing. Fanya he na utoke.
Do you even think God talks to those people? Do you even think? You know, I don't want to bring up a conversation against the pastors and the religious people because I too believe that they are people. They are men of dignity. They are men who has grown, who has brought growth in our religion, in the religion to us as youth. But in the same way, I have to raise my questions inside my mind. Do these people who call themselves prophets, do they really talk to God? Like Elijah. Elijah used to talk to God. The prophet Jeremiah, prophet of doom, that is the only prophet who prophesies bad things to the kings who are there. They were receiving messages from God. Are these people who are called prophets in Kenya right now receiving messages from God?
Thank you very much. Even those are questions. In case you are watching us, you can drop your comment below and give us the answers. I believe we have to move on. This is a holistic generation. Masharia, yes. I'm asking you this question. Gen Z is a generation that lack nothing. It lacks nothing. Iko na professional wake, iko na pastors wake. I'm not disowning the fathers. No. So, where are the way forward? Because I expected to see you in the state house, but pole kama kualikwa. But hata ukialikwa, chungana na hiyo pesa state house. I hear they are very sweet. So, okay. Now, let us continue. Yesterday, you saw the president addressing the nation that from today henceforth, this money inachukuliwa na magunia kupelekwa kanisa, harambee zingine, sana church. Do you know these people? They like church sana because it's only church you find a congregation. And there is something going around that Ruto used church to come in. Eh? And that is why these politicians are around church spreading money for 2027 to go well with them. Now, is this a heartbreak to church?
No, mimi venye naweza sema ni hivi. Kitu ya kwanza nilifurahia sana the moment president alisema hivyo. Kwa sababu I think there is a hashtag going on. Hashtag cleanse the church. In short, what I can say, God is involved in this, in everything in Kenya. And secondly, naweza sema kanisa si platform ya politicians, hapana. I thank the Lord kwa sababu kuna kitu church, at least I know Gen Zs, us as Gen Zs, church inafaa ikuwe imefunguka macho so far. Juu politicians wanataka mali kuna watu wengi, nivo wauze sera zao. Haya, wanataka mali, watu washakusanywa, wao wanakuja kusema tu zao na wameenda. So, mimi kitu moja nafurahia ni ati you can never, the church, I'm speaking specifically to the church. Church members, you can never carry a burden. Unaona? More than, so, nasema, burden yenye kanisa inabeba is so different ukipatia mtu mwingine. Unaona? Yeah, exactly. So, church, kuna venye, at least Mungu ametufungua macho so far. Church, at least kuna venye tumeona, we can do things on our own without depending on politicians. Kwa sababu very many big churches, mega churches, they depend on these people to their money. And yet, we don't know this money if it's clean. So, in short, the altar was contaminated. But saa hizi people now, even pastors, najua ndio maana hadi watu walikuwa nauliza, why is the church not speaking? Because the church was afraid to speak against the government, kwa sababu the church knew the government wanakuja sana na wanatupea pesa. No. So as Gen Z tunaweza sema #cleanse the church. Yes, we don't need politician money. If you want a congregation, wewe kusanya watu wako na huko na uuze sere zako na huko, usikuje kanisa. Kwanza mimi nafurahia sana so far politicians ni mtu tu kama wewe, unaona, na wacha kupewa platform ati unakuja church unapewa pale mbele. Hapana, kama umekuja church na umekuja kuomba, kaa kule nyuma, usikuje hapa mbele. Juu ukikuja hapa mbele ati haifai hivyo, haifai. Usipewe platform kwa church ati ukae hapa mbele. Kama umekuja kusikiza neno, kaa na kule na hadi usiongee. But I thank the Lord kwa sababu there are few churches they wanafuata your program. A politician will never come to a church na onekane sasa yeye hadi aulizwi anataka kuongea 1 hour church. Amebadilisha church program juu presence yake iko. So in short, saa hizi churches zifunguke macho. We don't need the politician money. As church members, we'll do the church projects. Yes. And we can never share a burden with someone else. Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, on the issue of churches, I'll also have some few points to put across. You know, I once read a verse somewhere that says illiteracy plus religion is death. And our politicians grasped that aspect of when somebody is illiterate and you initiate religion in him, that person is dead. Is dead. Exactly. So, most of the people who are in our churches need to open up their eyes, open up their minds. Because if a politician comes on the podium in a church, even if that politician is saying nothing, now that the pastor of the church acknowledges the politician, the whole congregation will clap, even without raising any questions of what are you saying. Because they know their pastor is always right. And that's what has made our church nowadays to be more political than religious. Our church is more political than religious. I am a Catholic. I can't say I usually see much political leaders in Catholic, because when it comes to our Holy Communion, you need to undergo catechism. You need to undergo some teachings for you to get that Holy Communion. But in other churches, you see, you are an unmember. A politician is an unmember. But when he comes into your church, he's given even the first priority to get the Holy Communion before a regular church member, a regular church member who usually come even 3 hours a week. But because that politician has money, he will buy even the sacrament. That's what we don't need in Kenya. We as Gen Zs, and what I can say to the church, we should abolish even politicians. If you are a politician, sit like another, just sit in the midst of the people, listen to the word of God, because everybody requires that information from our pastors. We can say they might be corrupt, or they might be, but the aspect of they're also servants of God need to remain. We need to listen from them, but politicians have to, and they should, and we as Gen Z will cause them to sit in the midst of the people, listen to the word of God. Now that if you have a word to say, if the church programs requires you or has made you as one of the speaker, you will speak, but outside the church. Gather your people outside there, talk to them, inform them what you want to do for them or what. Yeah, but inside the church, let us make our altars holy. Thank you.
Brilliant. Guys, very brilliant, well explained, and I hope even our viewers are benefiting a lot from those knowledge and wisdom flowing from those mouth. We are just still on the issue of church, and I heard a quote that goes like this: "A power is temporal, something coming for a short time and it is passing. The only common background where justice will be enhanced years and years, that will not fade off, is church, because church stands for the right. It's not an opposer, it's not the other side. It only stands on the truth." If allow me to ask you, Mashari, because you uko kwa ministry, what happened? Does you not see something that shall go wrong if the truth is bought by money, and you see the church now sliding because of the tactical mentality psychology game done by the politician using cash? What happened if the church allows a regime over time to influence? How will people get justice, by the way?
Okay, thank you so much. A church, I thank the Lord so much right now, because us as church people, God is teaching us something. Unaona, God is teaching us something, kwa sababu sahi we had a certain mentality, unaona, and a certain thought that us as the church we can't alone, unaona. So saizi ni church ibebe msalaba wake. Kila mtu anabeba msalaba yake. Mimi kama mtu wa church na church members, acha tubebe msalaba yetu. Heri tufulize, tukikopanga Mungu ataturudishia. Tusipatie msalaba wetu politicians wabebe. Juu hawawezi. They will come with their own intentions. Zenye they will spoil the church, the altar. Unaona? So saizi is a high time kuanze kuwa na changes, mostly in the mega churches. Na place our politician walikuwa wamepewa platform. Now is the high time kukuwe na changes, because there's a code that says change or change will change you. So right now is the high time the church to change, kwa sababu vitu janzi walikuwa nasema si uongo, ni kitu iko na ni church ni ikubali na i change for the better, because the one who is bringing this change is God himself. Nanipata? Yeah. The one who is bringing this change is God himself. Now, people thought, by the way, this is nimekwambia, I'm a spiritual man. Me, what I know is that there is a revival in Kenya. Na mtashtuka sana ikiwa hii mgomo ndio mwanzo wa revival. Unaona? Kwa sababu hii mgomo imetouch kila mahali. Unaona? Na kama imetouch church, God is involved. So in short, is people, politicians, wakae politicians, church, and change for the better. Thank you so much.
Well said and well explained. Now, the last question of church. Why now I saw churches now coming out, holding briefings, saying their stand. Now, does the church, the country has to wait? Many people have died. This cause was in the country so that you declare your stand. Why should people declare? Let me just stand for the church. Why should not the church say, this is what we stand for, in a uniformly, this one? Even before someone died, before this discomfortability happened. Why is it in Kenya we wait for the worst that we declare the stand?
You know, some of these leaders are also politically affiliated. These people come from, we know as Kenya, we Kenyans, we also have our political stance based on our ethnicity and our tribes. You can't say a pastor from, let me say, Kisumu, which is a place which is affiliated to ODM, so to say. Yeah, exactly. Because I can't say, every person is in ODM. But a pastor in Kisumu can't just stand and start questioning ODM, which is the popular political party in that area. Also, when it comes to the government of the day, you know, some of these pastors who hold the press briefings, they are most of them are affiliated to the government of the day, because these are the same people who came out and went to the State House to cleanse, pray, and they ate meals with His Excellency. They were given bahashas. Now coming out after some few months and questioning their government will make them feel like they have betrayed their source of employment, so to say, in quotes. Because His Excellency is giving them bahashas now and then. How will you now question your employer? You can't question. Yeah. So if you see them now giving out briefings, giving out, those are just side shows. They're just showing us as Kenyans that they are with us. They don't want violence. But at the end of the day, after the violence, you saw them walking out to the State House. They received what they received because they can't tell you what they received. They received what they received. They went back to their families. Now on Sunday, they will be here with us, worshiping, praising, telling us they never got anything from the State House. But deep down, we know they will never have walked out of that State House without a bahasha.
Hey, even me, I'm looking forward to meet a pastor who was in the State House behind the camera and niambie what happened. Even as we journey to the end of our show, allow me to ask you guys, all of you, you are Gen Zs, and I would like to know what next. This discourse, a PR stand, what and what, Macharia, what next? E.g., I'm seeing now the president is like recovering himself. Yeah, I may attack bishops, na ni kama almost kuwaweza. Sasa ni kama ana regain huko. Sasa ameanza kukuja space, kucompromise, and even to this morning as I was going through social media, Twitter, people ni kama tumekaa demoralized. Wanaona like in you Gen Zs, the government of the day imeingilia katikati na nimeanza kugawagawa hiyo that unity. Do you know unity, what can a unity does an individual can never do? So what's the way forward if you sum up all these things which has happened in the last 2 weeks?
Okay. Thank you so much. Mi venye naweza sema, kitu ya kwanza, maji ikimwagika ishamwagika. Huwezi ichukua tena. Kitu ya pili, tukisum up hii kila kitu, the world, as times goes by, the world is demanding, the world itself is demanding new ways of doing things, new ways of system. The world yenyewe ina demand. As times goes by, dunia tunataka kitu mpya kufanya vitu, a new way of living, a new way of leadership. So kitu ya kwanza ninaweza sema, in short, kitu ilituma majenzi wakasirike sana na watoke nje with a lot of violence na with a lot of a genuine heart, kwa sababu mimi ni jenzi na waelewa. So kitu ya kwanza ni ati, as we are praying for the government and His Excellency, kitu moja ni ati, he must deal with corruption first. So because the moment we deal with corruption, country itaendelea, kwa sababu in every government organization or institution lazima uhongane ndio uingie, na hiyo ni fact, na hiyo ni kweli. So hadi kuandikwa kazi, even kuandikwa kwa polisi, KDF nini is a must, uhongane. Na waonganangi pesa dogo, wanahongananga almost 500,000, and I'm talking reality. So if the government, most probably our president, kwanza akidili na utu tu minor things, kama ni jeshi,
police, kwa sababu they are about to start to announce a recruitment. So hiyo kitu ifanywe with ikuwe clean. Unaona, kwa gazeti wanakwanga wameandikwa kwanza na red, there is no corruption. Uongo, corruption inakuanga. So president ni ajaribu aandike royal people kwa ground wenye wataleta maendeleo Kenya, na bado andike tu royal people, kwa sababu very many people that are working in the government right now wameingilia kwa mlango ya nyuma, and that's a reality, very many of them. So serikali saa hii inafaa iangalie venye itasaidia us as young people tupate makazi huko ndani. Unaona, tusipo hapo Kenya itakuwa poa. Thank you so much.
Moses, I want you tukimalizia touch on corruption, because let us be genuine. By the way, this show tukwe genuine, tusidanganyane. Whether they will, you the truth says, just say it, whether it disadvantage you or advantage you. Sasa unaweza sema ukweli ukosi mtu akusikilize, but wewe umemaliza, at least you have said the truth. Sasa nikuulize, if today you want to tell me if you delete watu wa chini, this is an organization, unasema you are dealing corruption kwa cross the small fish, alafu naacha big fish. Let me ask you, see, the small fish are just reflecting the orders of the big fish, because even what Genesis are actually agitated with is telling the president, sisi tuko na questionable na mtu kama Murkomen amefanya law, huyu mtu how is it related na mambo ya engineering ya road? Because to perform in a field which you never studied ama una some skill about it ni ngumu. They are telling the president, sisi shida we answer na hawa cabinet secretary hawa, at ukiross anyone down pale we cannot believe, because kama for example ufute mwenye alikuwa ananesi barabara na wache Murkomen, si hawa wanafuata order ya huko juu. Is that fighting corruption really?
First and foremost, when His Excellency nominated cabinet secretaries kwa bunge for them to be passed, wakwe now full cabinet secretaries. Ananominate, wanaingia bunge, wanapitishwa, then waingie. Many Kenyans raised questions concerning their competence. So many people, so many names that were listed were incompetent. Incompetent in such a way that a person is well known for his behaviors or her behaviors. Now that he is affiliated to the government of the day and need to be credited for the good work and delivering victory, he has to be nominated for that position, whether he fits or not. And that's what that's what is eating us as Kenyans. We Kenyans, we are based on meriting those people who helped us to bring victory to us, but not questioning whether that person is fit for the same office. I might have a company, and I have my son. He has never been in any accounting school, but now that he is my son, I want to give him as a chief accountant in my company, just because we are related. How will that work? It won't work. Resources will be misused because he doesn't know what to do. This is the same way our president did. Aisha Jumwa, a well-known person with more than 20 cases, being nominated to be in public gender and affairs, whatever that ministry. I don't know if he's still in that ministry or he was changed. That person, we all know, he was in opposition. What she did, she was in opposition. What she did, we know it is in the public domain. But still, she was appointed, and she was passed by our MPs who purport to be our representative, and yet they represent Ruto in the parliament. We know that the parliament, as parliamentarians, the will of the government of the day, if you are affiliated to the government of the day, as in you are a Kenya Kwanza parliamentarian, the will of the government is your will, your priority number one. But also, they need to think, because it's not William Ruto who voted them in. They used his chama to get into it. But the people of Kenya, the people of the constituency that guy represents, is the one who voted that guy. So the will of the president should and must never prevail over the will of the people. And that's what happened. And that's what caused chaos in Kenya right now. The so-called finance bill 2024-2025. Because the will of the president prevailed over the will of the people. Exactly. Yeah.
I want to allocate each of you 2 minutes as we finish. And I want, Macharia, that in your 2 minutes, what do you tell the church? Because you are standing on the brim. You know the other system, and you know this system. What do you tell the former church and the Gen Z church, which it seems the fathers totally they don't understand, whether politically, spiritually, professionally, they don't understand these young people. What is your voice as you finish?
Okay, thank you so much. How I will say, ya kwanza ni ati church, the fathers and the current young pastors must understand each other. Kama pale awali nilikuwa nimesema, as times goes by, right now we're in the 21st century. So very many things, the world is demanding very many things. So kitu ya kwanza, Gen Zs wanasema ukweli kabisa. Na nilikuwa nimekuambia hii kitu God was involved. Now we can say the fathers waliogopa. But say ile masatu they raise, wakaanza kusema haya. Unaona? So in short, there must be a change in the church and in the politics. Yes, thank you so much.
Wow, brilliant. Moses. Yes. Now, it seems Gen Z, these people, their heart demand only justice. They don't trust anyone, and I hope that's why they don't have a leader. They only stand behind ideology. Do you know, standing behind ideology, it means they can only stand behind something correct. You today you can say something correct, tomorrow uruke. So, what is your voice to the 100 million of Gen Zs outside there who would like to move forward, but maintaining justice on the path of life? Bado ni wadogo, they still have a future. Kama maisha imeanza kuumana sahi, wameona maisha imeumania wazazi wao, and they are now wameanza kuogopa what is about us. Wanafunzi, we have hundreds of thousands people who are in the universities, colleges. They will graduate soon. Kuna wenye walimaliza years iliyoisha, ndio wako still wanaandamana. Now what do you tell these people? Because I believe we must do something, even if by which way. As you finish, please, sir.
Thank you. First and foremost, before I address my fellow Gen Zs, I want to address the government of the day. You know, Mr. President, His Excellency, and you, Mr. President, let me talk to you personally, because I know maybe you will get to this and you will hear me out. Mr. President, we really trust you. It's that the people that are surrounding you are the ones that are misleading you. You might have a very good agenda for us as youth. We might mean well for us in the future, but kindly just do away with those people who are advising you. People like Ndi, how can you contradict yourself? You are a government, you are a chief advisor to the president, and you say you talk behind his back. That one cannot, that even is not, it cannot be allowed. Those advices that you are getting will lead you not to perform as how we may have wished and how you are supposed to perform. Because when you entered, when you got that seat of presidency, it was a privilege, and you told us you are going to change Kenya. And we know and we trust that you will change Kenya, but you have to change first. Those people who are advising you. To the church, let us be spiritual and not religious. You know, spirituality will lead us because we know the Spirit is within ourselves. And the Spirit talks to us. Religious, these are just customs that were brought to us. These are just customs. Now that you see people saying, I'm a Muslim, I do what Muslim does. I cannot do this because I'm a Muslim. Those are just customs of religion. But being spiritual means you see beyond religious. You see what God Himself might have nasema aje, kenye Mungu mwenyewe anaweza taka ikue when you are spiritual. Si kenye kanisa inataka ikue. Umenipata? So let us just be spiritual and not religious. Haya, to my fellow Gen Zs, as I finish, this revolution has started, and it must never end. It must never end, because change is brought about. It doesn't come by itself. Let us, as we have started changing this country, let us finish. Our main aim was to put every injustice to question. When we finish the finance bill, we have to finish with Linturi. Linturi, what he did to our parents should never be and must never be forgiven. Selling to our parents fake fertilizer, which is never refunded up to now, because I don't know if there is any other person who has received any refund of the money he used or she used to purchase that fake fertilizer. That man needs to be questioned. DCI need to arrest that guy, and courts, let us be just. You as a magistrate, you know that justice must prevail, whether the evidence is there or it's not there, because when it comes to evidence, it will never be there because that person is in government. There will never be evidence against a person in government. So we as Gen Zs, let us create a party. Let us create a party. Let us be all leaders of that party, so that when one person defies the rules of the party, we question him. Not that we have a leader who leads us. Let us have a leader, or let us have a party that is leaderless. Everyone is a leader in that party. Let us bring about revolution, put government into question so that they can do what we feel that is good for us. You know, in the past generations, people feared so much. The democracy was there back in 2010 when the new constitution was brought in, but people feared a lot to talk because they knew the victimization that was there in the past regimes. But nowadays, we don't fear. We will tell you what you want to hear and what we don't want to hear. We will tell you. And that's the beauty of Gen Zs. We will tell you whether you want it, whether you don't want it. And let us continue telling and questioning people in the government. And that's what will bring change into our country. Thank you very much.
It is a privilege to have you guys. I thank you for your time. Always we are privileged to have you, Moses Achoka, on the bench. We have also have our analyst, Macharia David. He's a minister on amefaa tai. I hope ataenda State House soon pia. Kama the second chance itatolewa na the president. Thank you for watching us. kindly share this content and get to learn more. See you next time. We appreciate you.